Health authorities in the US have been handing out millions of dollars for studies on how recreational drugs affect animals. That's according to a report from the Animal Justice Project. Dozens of such experiments have been funded with taxpayers' money, totaling up to $150 million, all to see how the drugs could affect humans. In one example cited, LSD was injected into the brains of rabbits to test if it causes them to blink more often. That cost almost $10 million. Over $6 million more was spent on drugging mice to test their reaction to heat. And nearly $2 million went on comparing what drug causes stronger addiction in baby rats. Julia Orr from the organisation that published the report says these sacrifices to science are futile, as there is no evidence the drugs have the same effect on humans.
The public just don't know what is happening. All of these experiments are veiled in secrecy. The universities aren't open about what they're doing. We know that 95% of the animals that are used don't have any laws covering them, so they can have anything done to them in labs and they're not counted. It seems that they are trying to find some kind of miracle cure, which they'll never find, because as we know, every drug addict is addicted to drugs for very many different reasons. So it's really hard to figure out what exactly they're trying to achieve in these ridiculous experiments. You know, we really need a public research into what is happening and why it's happening.
The report has been co-authored by a group called the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. We spoke to its president, David Williams, who has a long history of exposing government waste. He says a lack of transparency and legislation is covering up the lab work.
There is no indication they're trying to achieve anything, because when they spend this $9.6 million to inject LSD into rabbits' brains, there is no goal for this. There's no objective for this research. It's just to look at to see what happens. So we don't know if they're trying to achieve anything other than to torture these animals and waste taxpayer dollars. We need to bring more publicity to the fact that these tests are taking place and that these tax dollars are being wasted. We hope that by bringing transparency to this, there will be more backlash, that more people will be upset, whether it's taxpayers or people that just love animals. The Animal Welfare Act is really woefully out of date and needs to include all animals, so this kind of research does not happen anymore.